Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, with another episode of Star Citizen FM, Episode 10. My name is Dr. Hawk, and I will be your host for this episode, and I will be covering Wingmans Hanger, Episode 11, as well as a few announcements of my own that I need to make, and then an interview with Zane. So yes, let's get right to it. Wingmans Hanger, Episode 11. The show is going on longer than we all expected it to be. By now, no. This show has been going on quite well. I have never had any doubts of the show, and it is great to see that they are, continuing with the production and that things are going smoothly. It's also pre-recorded now, so everything is going to suck now. Yeah, so, no, not really. Things are going to get pre-recorded from now, so I'm actually interested to see if they have any sort of, tidbits or any little extra features they add. If you watch the whole Wingman's Hanger, or did, there was some hints. But yeah, I'll let you find those yourself. So it'll be interesting to see Eric and you guys, what you guys do. You are now on the spot, and I expect to see many amazing things. So this week's review, Chris and company will be at South Exile West. That's that virtual reality expo. Cliffy B, Chris, all of them, they'll be there. It's basically the best nerd out place you could go to. I unfortunately cannot attend, so I will be scouring the internet for any footage, and I will try to cover it in the next episode of Star Citizen FM, or another side sort of video from Star Citizen FM, or just me in general, if there's something interesting that needs to be noted. So they will be there, and there will be more info on that as it comes up in my show. They've also made a request to keep sending in high-calorie foods and booze. I've said this before, stop doing it. No, don't actually stop, but we are going to get them like completely alcoholized and drunk and just dead. Like, we'll have a bunch of dead devs and no game at this rate. So, in combination with all these foods and we'll just end up having to give them all angioplasties. Quick note. That is inserting a balloon into a blocked artery with plaque deposit and inflating it to open up the artery or blood vessel so that blood flow may continue. There you go. That's a very quick Dr. Hawk description of an angioplasty. You could use Wikipedia if you'd like a more in-depth description. Or if you're really interested, Google an operation. It's actually pretty cool, unless you're squeamish. So, no, keep sending stuff. They appreciate it, and it's pretty awesome seeing some of the stuff sent in. I believe it was Whoop-de-Woo who later in the video you'll see he sent in some plaques, or I might have that playing now. Each was, I don't know if he sent it to every single dev, but they are personalized to each dev, and it's pretty commendable. So, good job, Whoop-de-Woo. That's pretty cool to see. So, anyways, in this week in review, we got to see, not a whole lot, but they did show us some of the whiteboard. So some people might not take this as a big thing, but being somewhat of an indie game dev myself, this actually is. While it all is scribble notes and that, if you pause the video, look around a bit and actually analyze it, there's some cool stuff to be had there, what we might be having for our avatars, the kind of chat systems, floor plans, or at least what I assume was a floor plan layout. That's what it looked like to me. So this is actually kind of appreciated. It's cool to see that we're seeing somewhat, even if just the scritch and scratch notes of what the process is over in the studio over there. So check that out, and you might have to do some clever stopping and pausing because the video that I usually have playing that you see now is too small to zoom out and make high def, and if I make it high def it takes 10 years to render. So yeah, check that out. And back in relation with sending in all the high calorie foods, I think it was Tennyson, he sent in a bunch of pies and galore. Yeah, I think there was even a Star Citizen pumpkin pie in there. It looked like it's me. And Tennyson, how dare you send them a pumpkin pie and not me? That is my favorite pie in the world. I'm just gonna go jump off a bridge now. Screw this. Life is not worth living without a Star Citizen pie. No, I kid. Very good job, Tennyson. Nice to see. And I bet you by the time I've already done this, it's all eaten and being turned into glycogen and many other yummy things that the body uses, including... Okay, I should shut up. Dr. Hawk should not talk about practicum and all that. In this week's forum feedback, we had some interesting things, so let's get to it. Our first questionee, if that is even a word, and I'll have to check later, is actually an anonymous individual, or his name actually is Secretease, according to Eric. I don't know yet, I'd have to confirm. But this individual is a police officer with the San Diego Police Force. If you're looking at the video, either did this on purpose or just it was a spur of the moment question. But again, I'm Canadian, but regardless, hats off to you, individual. I respect anybody in uniform, military or not, if you watched my interview with Exile, so your service is valued. His question is, will the Idris, see, I don't even know how to say it either. Damn. Will it have an internal hangar? Will it be able to have, fighters in it, or etc.? With a surprise appearance of Chris Roberts, the god himself, he came to answer the question, as well as some of the following ones. The Idris does have fighters, and again, if I butcher this word, you guys can, stab me later. It'll have about 2 or 3. It's undecided yet, so they're probably trying to find out balance, etc. The difference between this and the Constellation is that they will be single-seat pledge fighters, so full capacity fighters, jump drive, etc., not actually the short-range fighter variant. So that automatically gives it quite a powerful bonus, because I don't know if you'll be able to modify those short-range fighters, but knowing that your single pledge fighters will be modified, you could have a real big shoop-de-whoop happen with somebody who has loaded up ships and all kitted out and everything. Plus the fact that the Idris has its own offensive and defensive suites that can do things that we are not aware of yet, will make for all the more interesting experience. So, looking forward to that. Manic was the next individual who asked if we're going to have alts or multiple characters. That this is something that probably a lot of people are wondering. Chris actually, they're unsure, but it's being worked on. So like they want you to, but trying to actually integrate it properly, so you can't go on probably like an Eve spree. Anybody who's not familiar, you could take down a corporation if you spent 6 months and infiltrated them and got to know the people, and then just sucked the life out of that guild. Basically industrial espionage. So they're probably trying to make it so it's maybe not have that, or maybe, I don't know. There won't be any roadblocks to making multiple accounts. They don't want to actually prevent you from doing it if you want to, because most people usually always find a way to get around it if they can. So no further information on that. If we ever find out, I'll always tell you, or we'll find out in the future. Heartsblade asked if the Kurthak or the Krell are one and the same, or if they're completely separate aliens, being the fact that they were presented differently. The issue, actually, this is a very easy answer. According to Chris, the Krell is where the Kurthak come from. It's their home system. And the Kurthak are just the Kurthak. So, yeah, I can't really expand on it. Next question. Zorfmorph asked how extensive will ship damage be beyond thrusters, etc. Is there a plan to make it dynamic so that you can have, sort of different damage skins, or at least, what's the plan? Chris actually, this is one of their focuses. This is based on his immersion concept. We're either going to have a bunch of different damage skins, but from what it sounds like, they want to make it completely dynamic so that you can lose parts. There's a noticeable wear on the ship, so you buy a brand new Hornet, all shiny and new, compared to somebody who's been flying it for 20 years. By the way, hoping to see Star Citizen for 20 years, that you definitely notice the difference, either be it combat damage, just wear and tear from microparticles in space, etc. So it'll be interesting to see. Being a MechWarrior fan, I always like arms and things flying off the machine. So seeing that here in Star Citizen, even if it's not just that, and oh hey, geez, Dr. Hawk's flown around a bit. He's kind of a badass, or so I hope in my own mind. Would be cool to see, or maybe you'd tell that, oh geez, that guy's ship is brand new. He's probably a noob. Let's kill him. It's a good way to, like Chris said, to gauge an opponent or look at the ship. So, yeah, we'll have some pretty expansive damage for I guess anything. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Next question. Hassan Pfeffer was the next to actually have his lovely girlfriend read or ask the question. Hassan Pfeffet. Will we be able to open up communication lines, hence, hailing somebody? I believe I actually asked this too in the forums. This was like one of my first introductory posts. Nevertheless, Chris answered that VoIP is a possibility. It's undetermined at this point. People can always just use Skype or some other third-party program, TeamSpeak, Ventrilo, whatever. So it's undetermined, but the idea is there. So it'll be worked out, but there's definitely going to be like text or etc. So not much to go on in this, but it would be cool to see if it played out. Shaolan's 679 Shaolan 67 Shaolan 6716089103897834210. Okay, no. Sorry, buddy, you got too many numbers in your name. My dyslexia automatically kicked in, and ADHD. Ooh, squirrels. Never mind. Anyways, how will ship sharing work? Will we be able to only let certain people on, or etc.? Will we have to loan the ships? Will we be able to share ships? As far as Chris is concerned, beyond loaning, there is no in-depth system that's been explored yet. It will be possible maybe to gift a ship to a friend, etc., but it's completely undetermined at this point. So we might have to wait and see what we have in the future. Profit Driven asked an actually really good question. Why use Why use Roberts Space Industries instead of just CIG to market the game? This is actually kind of cool. Apparently Roberts Space Industries ended up as a placeholder for the website and game, etc. when they were setting it up, since apparently Cloud Imperium Games did not have a name. And being that it is now picked up as a brand, etc., it is now incorporated alongside CIG as a brand. So there you go. Roberts Space Industries, CIG, both one and the same. Though the difference being that Roberts Space Industries is the fictional manufacturer of the ships in game. So it's sort of like having a role-playing, immersion sense of, having the actual dealer talk to you in the internet, etc. So, yeah, for those of you that like the immersion, hand up, me. That's there for you. At the same time, it brings them in revenues, I hope. So, there you go. Travis TS asked, what kind of storyline can we expect? Privateer, Wing Commander, as well as, what kind of missions, branching, etc. Squadron 42 will be the initial focus for anybody seeking a single-player experience, and after that point, the persistent universe kicks in, and there will be, some sort of missions, etc. 5 or so missions long, story threads, so to speak, and they'll be added as needed. But I think the focus is the sandbox experience, but there will be stories for those people that are interested in doing such. Light Monk, big breath, asked if we'll be able to tell the difference of missiles once they're fired, visual cues, etc., sound, well, maybe sounds. And given the fact that Star Citizen's pretty visual based, according to Chris, he said what you see is what you get. So yeah, you'll be able to tell, oh, he's firing an EM missile or a high explosive anti-ship, yeah, I could go on. I could talk about explosives all damn day, but I can't. I don't have all day. Lord Way asked, how will gravity be handled in spacecraft? Some of the larger ships, is there anti-gravity on all the time? Or can't be damaged? Most of the ships, or all of them, have anti-gravity. Why am I saying anti-gravity? I mean artificial gravity. Consider anything I said before that artificial. Most ships will have artificial gravity, but you'll be able to damage it and float around, or at least you can right now in their builds. The difficulty is implementing it. Yeah, so if it will be on launch, they don't know. But explosive decompression, all that, they want to include that, so that's probably something down on the road. And the last question came from Okay, sorry. No, Eric, you fail. Epic fail. No, you don't. But no, the last question, Eric snuck a little video there on of himself. I'm sorry. Your sneak rating is not high enough for this challenge, my good sir. But it was funny to see nonetheless. So that pretty much wrapped up our forum feedback. Yeah, so pretty much like I said, what are notes do I have here? Yeah, Chris will be at SouthX. Too many S's and W's. That virtual reality expo that I mentioned earlier. So keep watching that. They're an hour after apparently Wingmans Hanger, so obviously I am way late on this. They're doing videos currently now. I'll have to check. But there is footage of it, and you can go and look at it. And if I'm completely lying out of my ass, then there will be. So, other points of interest, if you check the com link, we have a few other interesting little tidbits. Some of you may have noticed the head model, the base head model that was on the site, which quickly actually got fixed due to fan feedback for googly eyes. So a good sort of base on what we can expect for both graphics-wise and graphics. Sorry about that. Both graphics-wise and sort of proportion-wise, which is actually looking quite proportioned, yeah. There's not too much noticeable. Have to keep out more of an eye for Southwest, and I will like I said, be probably covering more of that later. Other news and worldwide news. I believe the company Liftport is looking, or at least concepting, working space elevators. Was mentioned. The issue with it being is that it is in a technological, it's a technological cock block, so to speak. We do not yet have the capacity to mass produce the carbon fiber filaments that would be needed for such a large and massive resource sink. I'm not saying this is a waste, but it's going to be a work that is needed. It's going to be like the ISS, I assume. So a lot of people, a lot of money, and a lot of focus. And also in gaming news, Richard Garrett. If you're familiar with the man, you should be. He has a Kickstarter up for Shroud of the Avatar. So friends of CIG, Chris and Eric and all the company. So go check out Garrett's Kickstarter. I should have a link in the description. And throw him some money, like violently. Just pack that shit up and chuck it like a fastball. No, send some money their way. You supported Star Citizen, support friends of Star Citizen. It never hurts. Oh, also Peter Mackey is now KIA or MIA, depending on your view. They sent the poor man out on the deck of the ship, and he's dead. Yeah, he's dead. Should have sent him out with a rig, Eric. So that's your guys' fault. That's on you. Remember when I said in my last episode you guys need a better lawyer? Well, now you need a phenomenal lawyer. So, yeah, have fun with that. No. It's actually one of that little CG sort of little edits into the show that I mentioned earlier, so more of that. It's actually pretty funny. Other notes that are particular interest, the interviewee of this Wingman's Hanger, Sandy Gardner. Our Wonder Woman, our beautiful heroine in the Face of Darkness, praise the sun or Sandy. Wait, praise Sandy. Praise the sun. Praise Sandy. Oh my god, she's a sun deity. Praise Sandy! Okay, no, let's not get fanatical here. If you check out the interview, which is, I suggest you should, she's helped out a lot with a lot of the issues that people have been having with their accounts, etc. Check out the interview. Some of the highlights I did pick out. She's a Doom girl. And Sandy, if you are watching this, I have a question for you. BFG or Railgun? I know there's two different games, but yeah, BFG or Railgun, or there's I don't know. I should shut up here. Other points of note: she wants to see a strong female presence in the game. Oh, and also not wearing red. Yeah, apparently they were doing the interview in all one take, so it's a good thing to see. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. I was going to make a witty joke. See, damn it, guys. Chris, all of you guys, you said I'm witty, and now it's failing me. Damn. Shazbot. Anyways, that's pretty much the whole of the show. Aside from Whoop-de-Woo, and I believe I already mentioned, and I'm forgetting the name because I'm brain dead, Tennyson sending in pies and cakes and all yummy things. That's pretty much all I have for this show. So now we get to some nitty-gritty things that I actually want to address the community with. Nothing actually bad. I've thought further about those clan highlights interviews, so those who you know. By the way, I got no emails or any messages in regards to this after my last episode, so for those of you that are interested, now is your time, given what I'm about to say. I've thought about the clan interviews and highlights, and I actually have no problem with them. What I figured I'll do is, it'll be just a minute or two in the show, and I get to do a humorous, or not, sort of recap of who you guys are, what you're doing, and sort of just spotlight it for you. And I expect in payment a pound of flesh nearest to the heart. Oh, God bless you, Shakespeare. Not actually. No, I don't really expect anything other than those that, you know, who want exposure, just to send me an email or message. You'll be able to reach me on, you know, the forums, or either at starcitizenfm@gmail.com. So yeah, I'll just give me a proper description of who you guys are, and I will explain who you guys are. Because if I were to do interviews both on people I interview as well as clans, this show would become a day job, and I'm not getting paid for it. So sorry. This would become a very long, laborious endeavor, which I would love to do, but I also have to eat and pay bills, and etc. So if you're interested in a clan spotlight or anything like that, send me a message. It'll be first come, first serve. So from this point on, not any previous messages, because I don't want it, you know, I want everyone to get exposed, and not in the flesh sense. So from this point on, who I see and who comes first gets a spotlight. So that's pretty much all I had to announce. So without further ado, I would like to introduce you guys to an interesting individual. You guys know who he is, so without further ado, here is Zane.
Yep. Hey, Hockey.
Oh shit, wrong Zane!
What the fuck? disgraceful there. Shazbot!
Well, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that was the wrong Zane. I present to you the real Zane.
Hi everyone, I'm Zane Vien, the web designer for Star Citizen.
So yeah, sorry, sorry about that. Zane, again, pleasure having you on the show, and thank you for taking the time to talk to me. A quick note to anyone watching, this is actually the second interview I've had to do with him. I just had an audio corruption, so props to the Star Citizen team for talking to their fans at 11 in the night. So thank you Zane for doing this again. But
No worries,
yeah,
man.
so why don't
Thank you for having me on the show.
again. So why don't you tell those who don't know what you do and your position more in depth?
So what I do for CIG is I do the design and front-end development of their website. So so basically this involves mobile, web, and perhaps some in-game applications as well.
Okay, so it's basically anything that would involve the user experience.
User experience, user interface, user interactions with interfaces, whether it's like managing your inventory or browsing the website, stuff like that.
All right, cool stuff.
Yep.
So what kind of you're a pretty young guy, 23 if I recall?
Yep.
So, some people might be thinking, geez, this guy's pretty lucky. He's got the dream job and everything. And, what's your previous work? Like, what's the tale of Zane Bien?
So my previous work, mainly just web design for local clients. Basically, like, I did a bunch of web design work for real estate clients back when I was in Hawaii, when I was still attending university. And even back, it dates back when I was going into high school. So I just kind of like developed my skill over a course of many years, just trying new things. And what the clients wanted was, if the client wanted something that's ridiculous, I would figure out how to do it, and I would learn something new as a result. And I just kind of built my visual style too. Like, the thing is, with each new work I do, I want it to be greater than my previous one. So it's like an ever progressing portfolio.
God, it's almost like you're playing a video game of life.
Yeah. I guess so.
So what kind of influences of it? Because, I noticed in some of the work, and I think I remember you mentioned previously, you had some influences from, Iron Man, Iron Man actually being a good example.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Want to go in depth on that?
Yeah. So I guess I can trace back the origin of my visual style, I guess, back when I was starting out, like maybe 2004, 2003. It was kind of a long time ago, but there was this really high-end Flash web agency called 2 Advanced Studios.
Okay.
And they did really, really cool sites back when Flash was still popular. So they did Flash, and they did something about the look and feel of their work that just kind of, resonated with me. And I found myself over the years just kind of trying to replicate their style. Like, I was kind of being copycat, but
there is a saying that imitation is a form of flattery.
Yeah.
So, doesn't mean just as long as you're not making money off it, you're inspired. That's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to be inspired. Like, just finding inspiration. Of course, not like copy pasting, but I mean, just And I usually and about the Iron Man thing too. I really am fascinated by the interfaces in movies. So it's called like fictional user interfaces, where you have these, especially in like sci-fi movies, where you have these people like interacting with like holographic touch screens, and it just looks really futuristic.
Mm-hmm.
So, um,
So that's
yeah,
the same art style that you were trying to achieve with Star Citizen.
yeah, I guess so.
So I guess this is a good question. What's your interest in Star Citizen? Or did you directly go to, CIG? Or did they come to you, with this design and going, holy shit, this guy has skill, we should hire him right now?
Well, yeah, that only happened as a result of my buddy actually referring me to Chris Roberts. What had happened was he got in touch with them over Facebook, and because my buddy, who I previously worked with on another browser-based game, he got me in touch with Chris Roberts over Facebook, and hey, I know this guy. He does some awesome web work. You might want to take a look at his work, and so just kind of went from there. And then he had me, Chris and Eric. They had me do a demo of the Hornet. They just gave me, here's some renders of the Hornet, and then here's the specs. Create something cool with it.
Okay.
So at the time, I didn't know what the new site was going to look like or anything like that. So I just kind of decided to, hey, I'm just going to make this big ass pop-up mobile window that's going to do all this cool stuff and interactivity. And I had 2 weeks to do it, so turned out pretty good, I guess.
And now you have the dream job that every basement-dwelling individual like myself wishes they had.
Definitely is a dream job, I can tell you that.
Okay, so were you interested in Star Citizen prior to this, or has this been a snowball effect of just, oh, geez, I'm working on an amazing game?
Actually, yeah, I did hear of Star Citizen before. I had actually seen it on Reddit, so I'm really big on Reddit. I go on it every day, waste a lot of time on it. Not so much now, but
yeah, they want you making a game, not on Reddit.
Yeah, so Chris did an AMA on it, and I checked out the Kickstarter and saw what they were doing, and it was like, whoa, this is awesome. So yeah.
So there you go.
Yep.
So, would you be able to tell us a little what you're working on right now? Because I know in the Wingmans Hanger you've already done an interview, but anything in detail you can share, like use what we can expect, or is it all still pretty hush-hush right now? Because I don't want to get you in trouble with Eric and have him, raffle stomp you or something.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so what I can say is that I've just got back from a trip out to Montreal to meet with our web development team back, who's doing the back-end web development.
Correct.
So I was just mainly working with them to spec out all of the new features of the new site. How exactly things are going to work, and basically everything you need to know to go ahead and wireframe it. So
I'm familiar with that word.
Yeah. So we, just big thing is kind of like devising the architecture for content, because there's so much content that we are producing. We need to be able to, give users an easy way to access it and search through it and sift through it.
So what kind of things can we expect? Will we be able to, customize our own ships in a browser and sort of test it out before we spend our hard-earned credits on something that we found out we didn't actually need? Will we be able to find friends, send messages, organize events? Like, I know I'm asking a lot, and I don't, like I said, don't get in trouble, but, what's some of the things that you are safe with sharing that would be interesting?
So yeah, it's do not want to say too much, but
Crap.
we are implementing a lot of. We do plan on implementing a lot of the requested features that the community says, hey, we need this, we need that. It would be cool to have this feature and so forth and so on. And I can say that, yes, we can do most of them. Most of them, not all.
Okay, well there you go, community. You have Zane's answer, and he answered it in the most diplomatic way possible. So props to you. Well, I don't want to get you in a lot of trouble then, because you are working on some, very current stuff. Ben and I could sort of ask prior work and other stuff, but until you're allowed to talk about more, and I look forward to future interviews with you and all the dev team. Hopefully in the future, maybe I can weasel my way, or what does a hawk do? Fly its way in? I don't know. find a way to do it. So yeah. I guess some fans have wanted me to ask these before to the devs. What do you, as a player, hope to see in Star Citizen? Like, of course, you have an idea of what's already going to be in there. Mm-hmm. But like, if you were suddenly, if Chris was run over by a bus, and God forbid, just watch, he's gonna. Dr. Hawk does not get his Star Citizen copy anymore. But if just theoretically, if Chris was hit by a bus, what would Zane do to better or make Star Citizen? What do you want to see in this universe?
Well, what I'm excited about is the ability to just kind of explore, just on your own free will, just kind of being in your ship and just floating, sifting through space. See what you can find.
So are you more of
That's exciting to me.
Are you just a general explorer or a miner? Like, are you kind of person that just scours every nook and cranny? Like, I just played Tomb Raider recently. Props to Eidos or Eidos, I can't say it right. But amazing job. I freaking found everything in the first playthrough. I can't help it. I'm like you. I love to find stuff. It's what's behind this crack? Drives my friends nuts, because if I'm playing co-op, they're like, Luke, can you please stop looking under the bed? There's nothing under the bed. But there could be ammo.
Man, you never know what you can find.
Could be ammo. Could be money.
I don't know. We might. Maybe some places that are really, really hidden that no one ever goes to.
Okay, so just general explorer we can expect Zane is just a general explorer.
Just explore and I don't know, just taking in the environment and my surroundings.
Fair enough. Yeah. So I guess that pretty much goes into the next question. You sort of answered already. Like, what would you do in Star Citizen? Like, if I was flailing around in space and Dr. Hawk was helpless, would you just pass me by because oh hey, sweet, there's a nook over there I haven't explored. Bye, Hawk. What's your play style aside from, exploring going to be? Are you going to be, rolling around with Alara and the pirate company, or are you going to be your neutral, good, sort of everyman?
Do kind of feel like I would be pirate.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Alara's gonna like hearing that.
I want to be able to team up with people and steal ships.
You just want Alara to give you rum and hang out with them. Aquila, crazy guys. Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I had to ask, and since I don't really want to get you in trouble without, like I said, Eric Raffle stomping you, I guess there's not much I can really delve into further. So I want to again take the opportunity to thank you for talking to me. It's much appreciated. And like I said, community, he's doing this the second time due to a hiccup from my computer. So this is bad news. This means I need to buy a new computer. So again, thank you very much, because this is appreciated, and it just goes to show, community, what awesome developers we have.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, I'll let you close off. You can say goodbye or anything you want to say, and yeah, I can let you probably go to sleep after this.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's it. Hopefully I'll have more to say in future interviews.
Oh, there you go. I'm
Yep.
I'm confident already. Future interviews, one by one,
I'd be happy to do it.
one by one, I will interview you all. Though maybe in a less creepy manner. But anyways, guys, this is Dr. Hawk and Zane Bien wishing you a good night. So you guys take care and fly safe.